I hate to say the example because they're both kind of going against the Marlins here, but a Jazz Chisholm, he showed more at the Marlins, but somebody who took it to a whole nother level in a different environment.
Can we talk about him for a second?
Let's talk about him.
I think that's a really, it wasn't on the script, that we put together today, but he's netting out as what, the second best second baseman in all of baseball, maybe the best one in the AL, right? Like, Ketel Marte has stacked up a lot of WAR, but if you're a Yankee fan right now, he's probably going to get 30, like have a 30-30 season, but at an 820 OPS, 820 plus OPS, playing 82nd percentile in range coverage, getting on base a lot. That walk rate, again, to me, Jazz, you can make a swing decision argument here, but Jazz always had an innate understanding of the strike zone. I think that's why he gets fired up when balls are called outside of the strike zone, but I actually think he sees the zone pretty good. And I think there's a pairing there that I know that I watched happen between Jazz Chisholm and James Rouson that I watched in Miami, and I felt like they were on their way to a lot of really good work and things. So I'll bet when he gets traded to the Yankees and that's the receiving offensive coach coordinator, I'm seeing a correlation there in terms of like Jazz building on where he was already going, but now again, you go from a bad team to an elite team and a market that's like on you as you like this is what it works in the other direction for Anthony Volpe right now, where like it's kind of turned on him a little bit, and that market can do that to you, right? I watched Boston do it to Pablo Sandoval, for example. Like Gary
Sanchez.
It can go south. Gleyber Torres do through certain stretches. But for now, for this pocket, he's really thriving there and putting himself in a really good position to make a lot of money for himself too. Like, having your better developmental seasons and pushes happen for the Yankees as you near your free agency window. And the way he's doing it is projectable. It's sustainable. It's good swing decisions. It's good defense at a premium up the middle position with versatility to play third if you need to. But some of these, talk about top of the scale power in some of these situations, like 5 or 6 foot, like 170 pounds. This to me, he's the ultimate combination of strength and elasticity. It's really, it's a really pliable kind of overall body explosion, but he also has that quick twitch. And then if you've ever shaken his hand, like there's some guys where you just shake their hand and you're like, okay, that's Starling Marte. You shake Starling Marte's hand and you're like RoboCop. I should call him RoboCop. But Jazz has some of that too, where it's like, don't let any of the frame fool you. There's a lot of strength in that total athletic package. And he's also one of those guys that athletically, you can't really put a ceiling on anything for him to do that he can do. And that's why I think you see him scratch top of the scale raw power in a given moment, or top of the scale, maybe top of the scale sprint speed, but like in the right 0 to 90, he'll net out at one of the better runners in the game too. And he's got that big play ability defensively as well, where I think he's capable of making a lot of just kind of unbelievable plays. He's not limited athletically in kind of any direction. And he's also, this is the first year we've seen this run of health.
Yep.
Like a big sample of Jazz Chisholm. A lot of that time where he was very good, he was just on the field more. So I think the more he's able to stay on the field health-wise, I think they're doing a really nice job with him. You're not seeing as many of the ticky-tack injuries or the things that kind of, pulled groins, things that get you out for a while. And it feels like is he the best second baseman in the American League right now?
I mean, when you talk about the whole package plus he's got energy too. I think that doesn't go obviously on the stat sheet, but he can energize you real quick with some of his base running.
He's got a magnetism to him.
Yeah. I mean, it's the injury stuff. We know he's a competitor and he loves baseball and he pushes through, but I do wonder if being on a team like the Yankees, as opposed to a team like the Marlins that wasn't going anywhere and he was there, if he makes just sometimes you make business decisions like, they're not even trying to win these games. Yep. Why am I going to play the way I play and put my body on the line that way? I'm not accusing him of anything. I'm just saying I could see myself looking at it that way sometimes when it's that time of the year, as opposed to the Yankees where
it's a harder pitch to a manager.
They need
is
him.
what I'll say. You know, when you have to make it to a manager and another, like, so I don't think he ever necessarily makes that calculation, but I do think there's something to some of the injuries are laying out for a ball, playing center field where you crash into the fence, you know, or you kick your toe. I remember he kicked the bottom of the fence one time and he was out for a little while then. So a lot of the things you need to see guys pushing it to the level of playing hard, but there is some sort of, I think there rightly is some deducing on the part of that athlete to maybe like, okay, this has gotten me injured in the past before. I can't just like keep doing that exact thing. So playing at a somewhat cautious level. And then as like September postseason, then the only way to do that is to ramp it up all the way for when the postseason comes around. And I think he's the type of player that does that. I mean, you know, the Yankees got to the World Series with him as their third baseman down the stretch. And now they're doing what they're doing now in large part because he's been a fixed piece for them, providing a lot of value in big situations. So yeah, I'm biased because I've been a little close to this one, but it's good to see what you thought were top of the scale tools and baseball ability actually playing more often at the top of the scale at the biggest stage. So that's what, and it's just a pretty swing, man. There's not that many swings that you could put in this visually aesthetic territory. You know, it's generational in that sense. Like, there are other guys. Griffey Jr. is the top of the scale, but guys like Cano and Carlos Gonzalez, there's something about guys with like really pretty left-handed swings that hit for power as well.
Yeah.
Those guys get famous. You know, Roman Anthony right now, to me, is a really interesting one.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate that he got hurt here, and that's going to hurt them. But there's just something really pleasing about like a sweet left-handed swing that hits the ball for power. And I think that's what the kids like. So like, I watched Jazz be a lot of kids' favorite player here, and it's simpler for a lot of them, especially of this era, of this generation. There's something that, and I think it's connected to that. He's charismatic as well, but I think the sweet swinging left-handed homers, it's the highlight that plays, and it's like it's what the way I used to look at Ken Griffey Jr. for an example. Like, it was just like, damn, without that sweet swing, is he as cool as he is, kind of thing? And
right,
there's some of that here,
and the ease to it, just the kind of athletic arrogance to it.
Right.
I remember his grand slams on that last Marlins playoff run were huge moments for recent history of the franchise. I've been going to what is now Lone Depot Park since 2012, since it opened. And we've seen Stanton's prime, really, Giancarlo Stanton's prime there. We've seen some major home run hitters at that park, obviously visiting guys, Bryce Harper, a ton of guys, Acuna. But his highest and hardest home runs, to me, even though I know distance-wise they're not the furthest, they just look the furthest in person because of how they kind of sky up and the follow-through. And when he goes upper deck at Lone Depot, it just looks higher and further. He
went left on left against Ryan Yarbrough here at Lone Depot against the Dodgers. And it's to this day the furthest ball I've seen hit in a game. And it was one of those that hit the upper part of the upper deck.
Yep.
And it was like just one of those baseball feats that you'll always remember because you feel like, I don't know that I'll ever see. And he did it left on left. And that year he was really struggling left on left. It was a thing that came up a lot. So that he's done some of the top of the scale things. He's able to reach athletic ability at the top of the scale. And I've watched, there were some plays, there was a ball, he was playing shortstop. We were playing Tampa, and he just kind of that dead man's area, shortstop, full layout, full extension into no man's land.
Yeah.
Center fielder's not going to get to it.
Yeah. And
to glove that baseball in that moment, in that year, like the whole season was on the line every game.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've seen glimpses of that. And then I'm also partial because he and I have done a few sneaker cleat collaborations that have, we've done 4 volumes of a major league collaboration where I design a shoe and he'll wear it. So yeah, I'm biased there, but shout out to athletes and people being open to put other people, other creatives onto, into play, into rotation, and to give them a canvas, give them a platform. And he has and did for me. So it lines up that it's also that I have the history, and it's cool to see him having a moment.